Can silence truly transform our lives? In a world saturated with constant chatter, from our own thoughts to the noise of social media, Buddhism offers profound insights into the power of silence. It's not just about absence of sound, it's a gateway to mindfulness, harmony, and deep personal growth. Silence can often be overshadowed by the noise of our thoughts, words, and actions. We find ourselves constantly talking, texting, or posting on social media, filling our lives with endless chatter. However, the wisdom of Buddhism reminds us that there are times when silence is not just golden, but also profoundly transformative. It teaches us to recognize the power of silence and to use it wisely, especially in 5 crucial situations. This journey through the spiritual teachings of Buddhism will take us on a voyage to understand the significance of always being silent in 5 situations. These teachings offer profound insights that can inspire us to lead a more mindful, harmonious, and purposeful life. Let's explore these ancient pearls of wisdom, embracing the serenity of silence and finding solutions to our life problems. Number 1. The power of silence. Silence is not merely the absence of noise, it's a profound state of being. In the words of the great Vietnamese Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh, silence is essential. We need silence just as much as we need air, just as much as plants need light. If our minds are crowded with words and thoughts, we have no space. Buddhism recognizes this and encourages its cultivation in various aspects of life. Silence is a gateway to inner peace, mindfulness, and self-awareness. It offers us the opportunity to listen, not only to the world outside, but more importantly to the whispers of our hearts and minds. It's a powerful tool that can transform the way we interact with the world and navigate life's challenges. As we embark on this journey through the 5 situations where silence is recommended in Buddhism, let us keep in mind that silence is not about being passive or indifferent. It's about being present, attuned, and intentional. Let us explore these situations, understand their significance, and embrace silence as a source of empowerment. Number 2. Silence in anger. Always be silent in the face of anger. These words hold profound wisdom, for anger is a powerful and often destructive emotion. When we are angry, our words and actions are fueled by this intense emotion, and they can lead to unintended consequences. Buddhism teaches us that anger arises from attachment, aversion, and ignorance. When we become attached to our desires or averse to situations, and when we fail to see the impermanence and interconnectedness of all things, anger can take hold of us. In such moments, silence is a potent antidote. Silence gives us the space to pause and reflect on the source of our anger. It allows us to step back and observe our emotional reactions without immediate judgment or expression. Through silence, we can engage in mindful breathing and self-inquiry, gaining insight into the root causes of our anger. Furthermore, silence is a shield against the harsh words and actions that often accompany anger. It prevents us from causing harm to others and ourselves. In the silence of restraint, we can protect our relationships and create an atmosphere of calm and understanding. In the Buddhist tradition, there is a story of the 2 arrows. The first arrow represents the initial pain or suffering we experience when something distressing happens to us. The second arrow symbolizes the suffering we inflict on ourselves through our reaction to the first arrow. By practicing silence in the face of anger, we can avoid shooting that second arrow and reduce unnecessary suffering. To truly understand this teaching, let's delve deeper into the wisdom of silence in the face of anger. It's important to explore the nature of anger itself and why Buddhism emphasizes silence as the appropriate response. Anger in Buddhism is often seen as a manifestation of our attachments and aversions. When we intensely desire something or are averse to a particular situation, anger can emerge as a response to the perceived threat to our desires. The attachment to our desires blinds us to the interconnectedness of all things and the impermanence of the world. In the face of anger, silence becomes a sanctuary of self-awareness and reflection. When we're angry, our minds are clouded with emotions, and our thoughts are often irrational and impulsive. In this state, our words and actions can lead to regret and harm, both to ourselves and others. Silence allows us to step back from the immediate intensity of our anger. It provides a buffer between our emotions and our reactions. Instead of lashing out in the heat of the moment, we can take a breath, give ourselves a moment of stillness, and observe the anger without judgment. This practice is rooted in mindfulness and self-awareness, key components of the Eightfold Path. In silence, we can ask ourselves essential questions. Why am I angry? What am I attached to in this situation? What aversion is triggering this anger? These inquiries can lead to profound insights into the root causes of our anger. We may discover that our attachments are unrealistic, our aversions based on misunderstandings, or our expectations causing our suffering. Moreover, silence serves as a shield that protects us from the consequences of our impulsive words and actions. In moments of anger, we might say hurtful things or make regrettable decisions. By choosing silence, we prevent ourselves from causing harm to others and maintain the integrity of our relationships. The story of the two arrows illustrates this point beautifully. The first arrow represents the initial pain or suffering we experience when something distressing happens to us. This is a part of life, and it's unavoidable. However, the second arrow symbolizes the suffering we inflict on ourselves through our reaction to the first arrow. By responding to the first arrow with anger, we shoot the second arrow, causing unnecessary suffering. Through the practice of silence in the face of anger, we can learn to deal with the first arrow more skillfully. We acknowledge the pain, but we don't compound it with our anger and reactivity. This not only reduces our suffering, but also prevents us from causing harm to others, fostering a more compassionate and harmonious environment. Silence in the face of anger is a call to mindfulness, self-inquiry, and restraint. It empowers us to transform anger into understanding and compassion. By embracing this teaching, we can gradually cultivate emotional resilience and wisdom. The practice of silence in the face of anger is not about suppressing our emotions or denying their existence. Instead, it's an invitation to engage with our emotions more constructively and mindfully. When we remain silent, we create a space for self-reflection and self-compassion. We acknowledge our anger without judgment and observe it with curiosity. This simple act of paying attention to our emotions can be transformative. In addition to self-awareness, silence also allows us to listen more attentively to others. When we're angry, our focus is often solely on our feelings and perspectives. We may be so wrapped up in our emotions that we fail to hear what the other person is saying or to empathize with their point of view. By choosing silence, we can open our hearts and minds to a deeper understanding of the situation and the people involved. The power of silence in the face of anger lies in its ability to break the cycle of reactivity. When we respond with anger to a situation, we often trigger a chain reaction of negative emotions and actions. Our anger may provoke defensiveness or counter-anger in others, leading to a destructive cycle of conflict. Silence interrupts this pattern and offers an opportunity for a more peaceful and constructive resolution. Ultimately, the practice of silence in the face of anger leads to greater emotional balance and equanimity. It empowers us to let go of grudges and resentments, making room for forgiveness and understanding. By cultivating this practice, we move closer to the ideal of being free from the suffering caused by anger, which is one of the central aims of Buddhism. Number 3. Silence in gossip and slander. Always be silent when you hear gossip and slander. This teaching underscores the importance of mindful speech and the consequences of engaging in harmful communication. Gossip and slander are like poisoned arrows that can harm not only the person being spoken about, but also the one who speaks. In Buddhism, right speech is a fundamental ethical guideline emphasizing the importance of speaking truthfully, kindly, and beneficially. Gossip and slander violate these principles and can create disharmony and suffering. Choosing silence in the face of such talk aligns with the principles of right speech and promotes a more compassionate and harmonious society. Gossip and slander often stem from negative emotions like jealousy, resentment, or a desire to harm someone's reputation. Engaging in such speech not only perpetuates negative emotions within ourselves, but also spreads negativity to others. It can damage relationships, trust, and community bonds. Silence in these situations serves multiple purposes. Firstly, it prevents us from participating in harmful speech. By choosing not to engage in gossip or slander, we avoid the moral and karmic consequences of speaking untruths or causing harm to others. Secondly, silence provides an opportunity to reflect on the intention behind the gossip or slander. Are we engaging in this behavior out of envy, anger, or fear? Such self-reflection can catalyze personal growth and transformation. Additionally, choosing silence can encourage those engaging in gossip to rethink their words. When we refuse to participate in or listen to such conversations, it sends a signal that we do not condone such behavior. This non-participation may inspire others to reconsider the impact of their words and discourage them from continuing with their negative speech. Gossip and slander are widespread in our society, and their detrimental mental effects are well documented. In Buddhism, these behaviors are seen as violations of right speech, one of the components of the Eightfold Path. Right speech is about using our words mindfully and ethically, promoting honesty, kindness, and beneficial communication. The prohibition against gossip and slander is rooted in the understanding of the power of words. Words can shape our reality, influence our emotions, and impact the lives of others. When we engage in gossip or slander, we often do so out of negative emotions such as envy, resentment, or anger. These emotions can cloud our judgment and lead us to speak untruths or exaggerate the faults of others. The harm caused by gossip and slander is twofold. Firstly, it harms the person being spoken about. False or unkind words can damage their reputation, lead to emotional distress, and strain relationships. Secondly, it harms the person speaking. Engaging in negative speech can create negative karmic consequences, leading to suffering in the future. Moreover, it perpetuates negative emotions within the speaker, contributing to their suffering. Choosing silence in the face of gossip and slander is a powerful way to break the cycle of negativity. It is an act of non-participation, a refusal to contribute to the spread of harmful words. This not only aligns with the principles of right speech, but also protects our own karma and emotional well-being. Silence offers us a moment of pause, a chance to reflect on our intentions. When we encounter gossip or slander, we can ask ourselves why we are drawn to engage in such talk. Are we doing it out of envy, to feel superior, or to harm someone? This self-inquiry can be transformative as it brings awareness to our own negative emotions and the suffering they cause. Furthermore, choosing silence can send a powerful message to others. When we refuse to participate in harmful speech, it conveys our disapproval of such behavior. Our silence can inspire others to think twice about the impact of their words and may even discourage them from continuing with their negative speech. In a broader sense, silence in the face of gossip and slander promotes a culture of kindness, respect, and empathy. It encourages us to look beyond the faults and shortcomings of others and focus on their positive qualities. It fosters understanding and compassion, contributing to the creation of a more harmonious and caring community. The practice of silence in the face of gossip and slander is an embodiment of the Buddhist ideals of right speech and compassion. It empowers us to use our words more mindfully, protect our well-being, and contribute to a more positive and harmonious society. Number 4. Silence during conflict. Always be silent during conflicts. Conflict is an inevitable part of human interactions, but the way we approach it can significantly impact its outcome. Buddhism encourages us to choose silence as a response to conflict, emphasizing the role of mindfulness, compassion, and understanding in conflict resolution. Conflicts often arise from differences in opinions, values, or interests. They can lead to heated arguments, hurtful words, and emotional distress. In such moments, silence can act as a cooling balm, allowing us to step back, reflect, and respond with wisdom and compassion. Silence amid conflict is not about avoiding or suppressing our feelings. It's about creating a space for active listening, empathy, and finding common ground. By choosing silence, we allow ourselves and others to express themselves without fear of judgment or escalation. Moreover, silence allows us to disengage from the cycle of reactivity. When we respond to conflict with anger or defensiveness, we often escalate the situation, making it more challenging to resolve. Silence breaks this cycle, providing a pause for reflection and a mindful response. Conflict is an integral part of human relationships and interactions. Whether it's a disagreement with a family member, a clash with a colleague, or a dispute with a friend, conflict is a common experience. How we approach and navigate conflicts can have a significant impact on our relationships and personal well-being. In Buddhism, silence is recommended during conflicts for its potential to bring about a more mindful and compassionate resolution. Conflict often arises from differences in opinions, values, or interests. When these differences escalate into arguments or disputes, they can lead to emotional distress, harm to relationships, and negative consequences for all involved parties. Buddhism recognizes that conflicts can be particularly challenging as they stir strong emotions and cloud our judgment. Silence during conflict does not mean avoidance or suppression of our feelings. Instead, it's an intentional choice to create a space for active listening, empathy, and understanding. It is a pause that allows both parties to express themselves without the fear of immediate judgment or escalation. In this space, we can acknowledge our own emotions and reactions as well as those of the other party. Silence in conflict serves as a powerful tool for active listening, a skill that is often overlooked but vital for effective communication. When we are silent, we can fully focus on what the other person is saying. We can hear their words, understand their perspective, and empathize with their feelings. This compassionate listening can de-escalate the situation and pave the way for a more constructive dialogue. Moreover, silence offers an opportunity for self-reflection. In the heat of conflict, we may become swept up in our emotions, making it difficult to see the bigger picture or consider the long-term consequences of our actions. By choosing silence, we grant ourselves a moment to reflect on the root causes of the conflict, our role in it, and potential solutions. Another aspect of silence in conflict resolution is the prevention of further escalation. When we respond to conflict with anger, defensiveness, or counterattacks, we often perpetuate the cycle of negativity. This can make it increasingly difficult to find common ground or reach a resolution. Silence intervenes in this cycle, offering a pause that encourages a more measured and considerate response. In the practice of silence during conflict, we are encouraged to set aside our own need to be right or to win the argument. Instead, we prioritize the well-being of the relationship and the broader goals of mutual understanding and resolution. This reflects the Buddhist principle of non-attachment, which suggests that our clinging to ego-driven desires can lead to suffering and hinder our path to enlightenment. The power of silence in conflict resolution is evident in its ability to foster empathy, compassion, and compromise. It encourages us to look beyond our immediate emotions and consider the feelings and needs of the other person. By doing so, we create an atmosphere in which both parties can express themselves, find common ground, and work together toward a solution. Silence amid conflict is a practice deeply rooted in the Buddhist principles of mindfulness, compassion, and non-attachment. It is a powerful tool that allows us to navigate conflicts with greater wisdom, empathy, and understanding. By embracing this practice, we contribute to the resolution of conflicts in a way that preserves relationships, minimizes harm, and promotes harmony. Number 5. Silence in witnessing suffering. Always be silent when you witness the suffering of others. Compassion lies at the heart of Buddhism, and this teaching emphasizes the power of silence as a means to express compassion and offer solace to those who are suffering. When we encounter the suffering of others, our immediate response may be to offer words of comfort or advice. However, Buddhism suggests that in many cases, silence is more profound and compassionate. Silence communicates our presence, our empathy, and our willingness to listen without judgment. Suffering is an inherent part of human existence, manifesting in various forms such as physical pain, emotional distress, or the challenges of daily life. Witnessing the suffering of others is a common experience in our interconnected world. Whether it's a friend going through a difficult breakup, a family member facing a health crisis, or a stranger experiencing hardship, we are frequently confronted with the pain and challenges of others. In such moments, our natural inclination is to offer words of comfort or advice to try to alleviate the suffering we perceive. Buddhism suggests that in many cases, silence is a more profound and compassionate response. This teaching aligns with the principle of right speech, emphasizing the importance of speaking kindly and beneficially in the face of another person's suffering. Silence can be the kindest and most beneficial choice. Silence in times of suffering communicates our presence and empathy. It conveys the message that we are there to support and listen to the person who is suffering. Words, even well-intentioned ones, can sometimes fall short of expressing the depth of our compassion. In contrast, silence creates a space for the suffering individual to share their emotions, thoughts, and experiences in their own time and way, and ever-changing. Silence in personal suffering encourages us to embrace this impermanence and to cultivate resilience through introspection and self-compassion. During moments of personal suffering, silence offers a refuge for introspection and self-care. It allows us to acknowledge our pain without judgment, offering ourselves the same kindness and empathy we might extend to others. In this quiet space, we can process our emotions, thoughts, and experiences, fostering healing and personal growth. Moreover, silence serves as a sanctuary from the pressure to outwardly express or articulate our pain to others. While sharing our suffering with trusted friends or professionals can be beneficial, there are times when words may not fully capture the depth of our emotions. Silence grants us the freedom to simply be with our pain, without the need to explain or justify it to others. This experience can be liberating, allowing us to sit with our suffering and accept it as part of our current reality. In the silence of personal suffering, we can also reconnect with our inner strength and wisdom. Buddhism teaches that suffering, while inevitable, can be a source of insight and growth. By exploring the impermanence of our experiences, including suffering, we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and the nature of existence. Silence in personal suffering aligns with Buddhist principles of self-compassion, resilience, and acceptance. It encourages us to embrace our experiences with mindfulness and to find solace in the quiet moments of introspection and reflection. Through this practice, we can navigate challenges with greater clarity, compassion for ourselves, and a deeper connection to our inner wisdom. We can also come to understand the interconnectedness of life, realizing that our suffering is not isolated, but part of the human condition. This understanding can be a source of comfort and wisdom. Silence in times of suffering is a practice deeply rooted in self-compassion, self-care, and self-discovery. It allows us to honor our pain without judgment, to find refuge from the pressure to explain, and to connect with our inner strength and wisdom. By embracing this teaching, we create the conditions for healing and personal growth. Conclusion: the wisdom of Buddhism offers us a profound understanding of the transformative power of silence in 5 crucial situations: anger, gossip and slander, conflict, witnessing the suffering of others, and our suffering. In these moments, silence serves as a source of mindful compassion and personal growth. Silence is not about being passive or indifferent. It is an intentional choice to create space, to listen, to reflect, and to respond with wisdom and empathy. It aligns with the principles of right speech, compassion, and non-attachment as outlined in the Eightfold Path. By always being silent in these 5 situations, we empower ourselves to transform negative emotions, nurture compassion, and foster understanding. We protect our relationships, minimize harm, and contribute to a more harmonious and connected world. By learning to be present, to listen deeply, and to embrace the healing power of silence, we integrate these teachings into our daily existence. We embark on a journey of self-discovery and personal transformation, moving closer to the ideals of Buddhism, which seek to alleviate suffering, cultivate mindfulness, and awaken to the interconnectedness of all beings. In doing so, we not only find solutions to life's problems, but also uncover a path to inner peace and enlightenment. Silence is essential. We need silence just as much as we need air, just as much as plants need light. If our minds are crowded with words and thoughts, there is no space for us. In the profound silence of these 5 situations, we discover the space we need to live more mindfully, more compassionately, and more authentically.